So we have read that Della, in an impulsive manner or out of that feeling of love, had sold her hair and had purchased a platinum chain for Jim as a birthday, as a Christmas present. And after reaching home, she had realized that what mistakes she might have committed, or what might be the effect of this bargaining. And then realizing this, she had tried to repair that damage by putting curls to those hair. Now, at 7 o'clock, the coffee was made and the frying pan was on the back of the stove, hot and ready to cook the chops. Now, means it is the time for Jim to return back. So, at exactly at 7 o'clock, she had prepared the coffee for Jim, and the frying pan she had put on the back of the stove to as it is ready for cook the meal for Jim. Jim was never late. Della doubled the fob chain in her hand and sat on the corner of the table near the door that he always entered. And as it was a habit of Jim that he was never late from his office, from his work, so Della doubled the fob chain in her hand so that she can hide it. She had doubled it, उसने उसको डबल कर लिया था ताकि उसको आराम से अपनी मुट्ठी के अंदर जो है समेट सके. And sat on the corner of the table near the door that he always entered. And then she sat at the corner of the table by the side of that door from which he always enters the house. Then she heard his step on the stair away down on the first flight, and she turned white for just a moment. And then, when she heard the steps of Jim entering the house and stepping the stairs, and then her face turned white for just a moment. Means she had realized that what will happen when Jim saw him in this form without her hair. She had a habit of saying little silent prayer about the simplest everyday things, and now she whispered, "Please God, make him think I am still pretty." And this is the habitual thing of Della, that she used to make prayers to God for daily everyday things. She used to pray to God. So today, what she has prayed, she had just made this prayer that please God made him think I am still pretty, because this is what she was fearing the most, that perhaps what happens if Jim might not like her in this new form. The door opened and Jim stepped in and closed it. The door opened, Jim opened it, he stepped in, he came inside the house and closed it and closed the door. He looked thin and very serious, and he was looking thin. Obviously, he was a thin-figured man, so he looked thin. But here he looked thin and very serious. Means he was a bit tired looking. He was. Poor fellow. He was only 22 and to be burdened with the family. Such a poor fellow he was. Means look at the pity which the writer is showering towards Jim, that he was only 21 and he was already burdened with the responsibility of a family. He need to earn for his family. He needed a new overcoat and he was without gloves. Look at the status, the economic status of this family, that even it is cold outside and his overcoat was worn out. He needed a new overcoat and he even doesn't have gloves to keep his hands warm. Jim stopped inside the door as immovable as a setter at the scent of quail. Now look at a very beautiful analogy the writer has written here. He says that Jim stopped inside the door as soon as he entered the door and he noticed Della, then he stopped. And he stopped. He stood silently, as immovable as a setter. Setter is a kind of big sized, large dog, a hunting dog it is. As a setter stands silent and immovable at the scent of quail, at the scent of a bird of prey, है ना. क्वेल जिसको हम बटेर बोलते हैं ना, जिसका शिकार करते हैं. तो इफ़ यू हैव नोटिस्ड दीज डॉग्स, है ना, हंटिंग डॉग्स, कि जब भी वो ऐसे अटैक करते हैं तो ये आपने देखा हो, इवन हंटिंग एनिमल्स कोई भी हो, तो वो इतना साइलेंटली, इतना मोशनलेस खड़े रहते हैं अटैक करने से पहले, ताकि जिस पक्षी पे या जिस पशु पे वो अटैक करना चाहते हैं उसको उनका अंदाज़ा नहीं हो उनके मोमेंट का. सो इन दैट वेरी पोजिशन ही स्टूड silently there. His eyes were fixed upon Della, and there was an expression in them she could not read, and it terrified her. His eyes were fixed upon Della, means if he was gazing at Della in a very fixed eyesight. He was just looking at Della without moving, without saying, without having any expression in her eyes, and there was an expression in his eyes that she could not read. And the kind of expression which was there in the eyes of Jim was something which Della was not able to read, that what he is feeling, what is he trying to say, or what kind of feelings was there in his mind. And it terrified her. And when she was unable to realize that what is there in the eyes of Jim, she felt terrified. It was not anger, nor surprise, nor disapproval, nor horror, nor any of the sentiments that she had been prepared for. While she had got that feeling of sensibility, feeling of region in her mind, and when she had prepared herself with those hair irons, then she had expected some things, some reactions from Jim, that perhaps Jim might get angry, perhaps Jim might not like her, perhaps Jim might be having disapproving behavior towards her. So she had expected all these things. But now, what she was looking in his eyes was not anger, it was not surprise, it was not disapproval, it was not horror. Means it was not any kind of the sentiment which she was expecting Jim to show when she was preparing herself for this encounter, for the arrival of Jim. Then she have guessed many reactions, but she was not even ready for this kind of reaction which is she was having noticed in the eyes of Jim. He simply stared at her fixedly with that peculiar expression on his face. He was not showing any kind of feeling. Means she was just staring at Della, and this is what has terrified her. Della wriggled off the table and went for him. Della wriggled off. Wriggled off means to come out from somewhere with great effort, है ना, बहुत मेहनत करके कहीं से निकलना. देखो कई बार होता है ना, जैसे मोटे लोगों के साथ आपने देखा होगा कि अगर वो सोफे पे बैठे हैं या किसी ऐसी जगह पे बैठे हैं जहाँ से उठ नहीं पाते हैं इजीली, तो उससे wriggled off means they put a lot of effort to come out of that place to, है ना. But here Della was simply sitting on the table, but still because she was unable to experience that kind of expression which was on the face of Jim, so she wriggled off means she put on effort to stand up the table and went for him. Means she went near to Jim. Jim darling, she cried, don't look at me that way. I had my hair cut off and sold because I could not have lived through Christmas without giving you a present. And she gave the reason to Jim that please don't look at me like that, because I have sold this hair just because I love you. I have sacrificed my hair. Why? Because I wanted to purchase a Christmas gift for you. I could not let the Christmas go without buying a without buying a present for you, and that's why I have sold my hair. It will grow out again. You won't mind, will you? No, now she's trying to give reasons to Jim that please don't be angry with me, don't look like that to me, because my hair will obviously grow. They will again long. Please, you don't mind it, will you? I just had to do it. I don't have any other option, and that's why I have done it. My hair grows awfully fast, and you know that my hair grows very fast. Say Merry Christmas, Jim, and let's be happy. Please say Merry Christmas to me. Wish me the Christmas and be happy. You don't know what a beautiful, nice gift I have got for you. You don't know that by selling my hair, what a beautiful present, what a beautiful gift I have purchased for you. Believe me, I have purchased a very beautiful gift for you. You have cut off your hair? Asked Jim laboriously, as if he had not arrived at that patent fact yet, even after the hardest mental labor. And then Jim, he asked very laboriously, means by putting a lot of effort, he had asked this thing, that you have cut off your hair. Means he's still unable to realize this thing, even after a lot of mental effort he has put in realizing this hard fact that the hair are not there with Della, but still he had asked this thing, that you have cut off your hair. Cut it off and sold it, said Della. But Della, because she is in the mode to satiate the mood of Jim, so she says, yes, I have cut it off and sold it. Don't you like me just as well anyhow? I am me without my hair, ain't I? Means now she is not trying to figure out what is there in the mind of Jim. She is just trying to reason herself. She is just trying to validate her action. She says that, don't you like me now in this without those long hair anyhow? I am me without my hair, ain't I? I am still Della. I am still your Della without those hair, am I? Not your Della? Jim looked about the room curiously, and then Jim looked about the room curiously, in a very curious manner, as if he had seen something very new in the room. So he looked around the room in that manner. You say your hair is gone, he said with an air almost of idiocy, as if means in a very idiotic question he again put, that you say that your hair is gone, and still he is not able to believe. He means behaving in a very idiotic manner, that still he is unable to realize that thing, and he says that you mean that your hair is gone? You need not look for it, said Della. It's sold, I tell you, sold and gone too. She said that please don't look at my hair, as I have told you already that it is gone, and I have sold and it is gone. It's Christmas Eve, boy. Be good to me, for it went for you. Please be a bit good for me. Don't behave like this, because please, I have sold this hair just for you only. She went on without sudden serious sweetness, but nobody could ever count my love for you. Shall I put the chops on, Jim? And she means sudden serious sweetness के साथ उसने कहा कि that please nobody could never count my love for you. You can count the money, you can count those hair, but you cannot count the love which I have for you. And shall I put the chops on? Means should I prepare the breakfast? Should I prepare the meal? This is what she has asked to Jim. Means now she is just trying to divert the attention of Jim from her hair, and that's why she has asked this to Jim. So this is it for the day. Thank you.